Hello, my name is Mike Catorna with SIMA, the Senior Insurance Marketing Association, and today we're looking at the $100,000 Medicare sub-agent. Can you be a six-figure agent? Now, there's a lot of hype in the insurance field about high income starting out. Make $75,000 selling this, make $100,000 selling that. But what kind of production does it take? We're going to take a look at what kind of pie-in-the-sky offers are out there and if they're obtainable. So before we jump into it, let's look at what $100,000 a year looks like. There's 52 weeks in a year, so it brings us to roughly $1,923 per week. To put that in perspective, only roughly 17% of households in the U.S. have income over $100,000. And also, don't expect to work 40 hours a week. That'd be way too little. Most high-income producers do put in longer hours, but they also get better rewards. So let's look at some numbers, jump right into this. We're going to use the example of a Medicare supplement premium of $175 per month. We're going to look at a commission schedule of 16% for a total commission of $28. Now, you might be saying, Mike, my average monthly premium on supplements is $250 a month, or your commission might be 25%. Well, that's great, but we want to have a nice conservative base to work off of. So this is probably one of the lower ends of what you could earn, but we don't want to shoot for pie in the sky because you want to plan for the worst and hope for the best. So let's take a look at a spreadsheet here. We're going to start out year one with zero income, which means zero carryover or residual income, total sales, total commission, and then total for the month with residual and your current commission added in. So as you can see, January, we have zero carryover because we have no sales. Let's say we sell 8 in the first month. So that gives us a grand total of $224 per month. Now you'll notice that total will go up to the next month, February, $224, 8 sales, $224 for a total of $448, etc. You'll notice in April we jump up to 12 sales. That's because we've been in the business for about a quarter. Maybe we've stepped up our marketing game. Hopefully you have some referrals starting to come in. So you're starting to get a little more sales. And I kept it at 12 for the rest of the year again to keep it nice and conservative. And as you can see, your income slowly starts to build till the end of the year. Now you've only made $22,512 for the year. Not very good income. However, look at your residual income at the end of December. It's $3,696 in residual income every month from here on out, provided your clients stay on the books. So you can see what killed our income for the year was it took 3 months to get to the $1,000 mark. It took another 3 months to get to the $2,000 mark. It took another 3 months to get to the $3,000 mark. Now, obviously, if you have a higher average monthly premium or a higher commission, you can get there faster. But as you see, it takes time to build. But look at year two. I even did another conservative of 8 sales per month, dropped it down to 8 just because I want to keep it nice and conservative. And just by doing that, selling 8 average per month, you've got $61,000 in total income, or a little more. So in 1 year, even backing off just a little, you've tripled your income. Now, you can't do that every year, of course, but you've increased your income because your residual income is now up to $6,384 at the end of year two. So you can see you can build this business pretty quick as it really starts to take steam and get you going for decent residual income. Now you might be saying, you know what, that's great for as earned, but I get an advance. Well, if you do get an advance, we're going to look at those numbers real quick. Same factors, $175 premium per month, 16% commission. Now, as you see in January, well, again, we same 8 sales and 12 sales. You got $2,016, much better than $224, which makes the advance attractive to a lot of agents. You see, at the end of the year too, because you're making more upfront, you've got a higher total yearly income. Went from $22,000 to $34,000, but you don't get any residual income until October. So you don't have any cushion in case you have a softer month. Because if you don't sell, you don't get paid. There's no residual to come in and help pad that. But note in both examples, your as earned and your advance, it takes consistent productions. I didn't put any months in there of 0, 1, or 2 sales. It was consistent production for the first year or 2 years. So again, with the advance, you can make more money up front, but I do caution you because you want to keep in mind that there are chargebacks in this field. If you have a client that cancels a policy in month 2, your as earned, you owe nothing or $20 depending when they canceled, if you've been paid or not. But with advance, you will owe because you've been paid in advance. You'll owe about $200 if they cancel month 2 in our example. So if you have a couple policies cancel, that could really hurt your income, especially starting out. So just be mindful that there are chargebacks in this field. Now, you might be saying, where's the rest of my money? The ad said $75,000 to $100,000. Well, usually they're going to have you supplement your income with other products, Medicare Advantage plans, final expense. And since some agents don't offer MA plans, we're going to look at final expense. Very simple spreadsheet here. Monthly premium $50, commission 80%. Again, lower numbers just to keep it nice and conservative, create a nice baseline of what to expect. Total commission on this would be $40. Most agents I know take an advance with final expense, and in this case I kept it at 9 months, so $360. Average sales per month, if you sold 3 per month, you'd be making an extra $1,080 a month. Sold 5 a month, you'd be making an extra $1,800 a month. Nice little supplement with your Medicare supplement sales. So the first 5 months of the year, let's say you sold 3 a month, you made $5,400 that year in final expense income. The second 5 months, you made $9,000 for a grand total that year income of $14,400 in commission off final expense. Now, if you're a math whiz, you've probably figured out that 5 and 5 is 10, not 12. I let the first 2 months off of the year just, give the agent time to ramp up their sales. You don't want to start out offering everything to everyone. Become an expert in Medicare supplement and then start offering other products. Don't try and do too much at once. So let's look at total yearly income with Medigap and final expense blended in there. As you can see, as earned, $22,512 plus $14,400. Our grand total was $36,912. With an advance, we were looking at grand total of $49,008. Now, of course, that's less than $75,000 to $100,000, but still respectable considering you're starting a business from scratch and having income the first year. Remember, with as earned, you're starting selling year 2 with $36.96 in residual income, as opposed to only $1,000 with the advance. So you have a much more padding going to year 2 with the as earned. Now it looks promising. Again, starting a business and having income the first year is great. If you open a restaurant or a retail outlet, you've got inventory to buy, you've got all these other high costs because you have to fill your location with product. With insurance, you don't have to do that. So you can really make a decent income starting out the first couple of years compared to other businesses where you might not see any income for a couple of years. But one thing you have to stop and ask yourself, and this is one question that most agents don't ask when they're responding to these ads or trying to go off on their own, is where are all these leads and marketing coming from? In year 1, both as earned and with the advance, we had 132 policies sold in the first year. To kind of give you an idea how many appointments it would take to get that many sales, if you had a 50% close ratio, you would need 264 appointments. If you had a 40% close ratio, you would need 330 appointments. If you had a 30% close ratio, you would need 440 appointments. To put that in perspective for the year, there are 261 business days in 2012. So basically, you would need at least 1 appointment a day. And if you close 50% of them, you would need, again, 1 appointment per day, obviously. So how are you going to get these appointments? That's the question. How are you going to get all these appointments in 1 year, especially starting out?